Hey guys, Ryan here, and welcome back to another Pokemon Explained video. So, a while back, a friend of mine asked me, what's this Pokemon? I told him, that's Zygarde, and I explained its different forms. He thought the concept was pretty cool, and dug out his old 3DS and played some Pokemon Sun and Moon. So I thought, why not make a video on this topic? We'll be looking at information from the Pokemon games, and the anime. Let's begin. Zygarde is a Dragon and Ground-type legendary Pokemon that made its debut in 2013's Pokemon X and Y. At the time, Zygarde didn't have multiple forms, it was just its base 50% form. Zygarde could be found in Terminus Cave after you have become the champion. And when you made it to Zygarde's chamber, it's just kind of there, with no real explanation why, and no tie-in to the story. At the time, the only thing we had to go off was its Pokedex entries. Its Dex entry for Pokemon X states, when the Kalos region's ecosystem falls to disarray, it appears and reveals its secret power. It wasn't until 2 years later that we learned a lot more about Zygarde in the Pokemon anime, where it went on to play an important role in the Pokemon anime's 19th season, XYZ. Zygarde's core form first appeared in a special episode where it was being experimented on at Lysander Labs. After managing to escape from Team Flare, it met Ash and friends. Bonnie quickly became attached to the little guy and named it Squishy. We also learned that Zygarde doesn't require food, instead it gains energy from absorbing sunlight. It travelled with them for most of the season, with Team Flare trying to capture it on multiple occasions for their plan to use it as a weapon to destroy the Kalos region. Apart from the core and the cell forms, the anime also introduced the 10% form and the 100% form. These new forms never made it to the X and Y games. However, they were obtainable in 2016's Pokemon Sun and Moon. Early on in the game, you receive the Zygarde Cube from Dexio and Cena, characters from the Kalos region. They tell you that it was apparently found by Professor Sycamore. With the Zygarde Cube, you can gather and store Zygarde cells that are scattered throughout the Alola region. This feels really out of place to me. I don't think it really belongs in the Alola region. But I gotta admit, I did enjoy collecting the cells. On your journey around Alola, you'll eventually reach the reassembly unit, found on Route 16, where you can combine the cells and cores from the Zygarde Cube. The form you make is dependent on how many cells you have collected. You can combine 10 cells to make a Zygarde 10% form. With 50 cells, you can make a Zygarde 50% form with the ability Aura Break. This ability reverses the effects of Xerneas and Yveltal's abilities, which usually increases Fairy and Dark type moves respectively. Finally, if you're able to collect all 100 cores and cells, you can combine them to make Zygarde 50% form with the ability Power Construct. This ability transforms Zygarde into 100% form when its health drops below 50%. Also, just a heads up, you cannot use an ability capsule or patch to change Zygarde's ability. Alternatively, if you can't be bothered finding all 100 cores, and you happen to own two 50% forms, you can also separate them into cells and cores and merge them to make one with the Power Construct ability. Skipping ahead to the present games, Zygarde was added to Sword and Shield in the Crown Tundra DLC. It can be found in the Dynamax Adventure mode, where it will always have the Power Construct ability. I kind of want to shiny hunt it in Dynamax Adventures, it has an amazing shiny. As for its height, let's start with the smallest. I couldn't find official heights on Zygarde's core or cell forms as they are not in the Pokedex. But they are small enough to fit in a little girl's bag with her pet mouse. As for the 10% form, it is 1.2 meters tall, or 3 foot 11 for you Americans. It gets a little bit more complicated when we reach the 50% form. According to the Pokedex, it is 5 meters tall, or 16 foot 5. That's huge. But it's clearly not meant to be that tall. Zygarde is a serpent-shaped Pokemon, and usually with snakes and other long Pokemon, they go for how long it is from head to tail instead of how tall. So if we measure it from its tail up to its weird back spike things, it's actually not all that tall. A little bigger than a person. Its complete form is much easier. It's 4.5 meters tall, or 14 foot 9. This thing is big. Zygarde has 4 signature attacks. 3 of these moves are physical ground type attacks, with 90 base power and 100 accuracy. Each move has a different secondary effect. 1000 Waves prevents the foe from fleeing or switching out. 1000 Arrows is able to hit Pokemon that are immune to ground type attacks, including flying types and Pokemon with the ability Levitate. And Land's Wrath hits both the opposing Pokemon in double battles. Its other signature move, Core Enforcer, is a special dragon move with 100 base power and 100 accuracy, and as long as Zygarde remains in battle, it suppresses the target's ability. Okay, so let's talk about stats real quick. 10% form has a base stat total of 486, with a solid 100 attack and 115 speed. 50% form has double the amount of HP, its attack remains the same, and it has a lot more defense, but it's a little bit slower. Complete form doubles its HP again to a whopping 216. Its other stats mostly stay the same, except it has 10 more special attack and 10 less speed. Unfortunately, we never got the Pokemon Z game that we all expected. It's a shame too. I would have loved a definitive version of the Kalos games. It would have been cool collecting Zygarde cells from across the Kalos region, and they could have tied it into the story too. It would have been a good way to flesh out Zygarde and Team Flare. Well, that wraps up this video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, it really helps out. Which is your favourite Zygarde form? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll explain you later. According to the Pokedex, Zygarde is categorized as the Order Pokemon.
Can I get a large fry?